the precious gem of the Treasure Valley, Boise at night, on a night where we are celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Here in Extra Mile Arena, the Broncos play host to the San Jose State Spartans. Alongside the Bronco legend, Shay Shaw, I'm Tyler Lundquist. Shay, this Spartans team coming in, losing 7 straight games in conference and really trying to find their own identity. What do they have to bring to Extra Mile tonight to really prove that?
To prove it, everyone has to step up. They need to elevate. They need to be scorers and just do whatever it takes to get that win.
They've been without their leading scorer for the last 3 games. That's been a huge hindrance for them. And as you can see, that is a big cause for them being 1-8 in conference. But this is a big stretch for Boise State coming up. 4 incredibly crucial games in this middle part of the conference play.
Yeah, the Broncos need to win out. They need to win all the rest of the 4 games, and they're fully capable of doing it.
Well, without Jaya Lovett for the Spartans, the question is who's going to step up in that spot. It's Amaya Moreland who has really put the pressure on her opponents.
Maya's going to need to triple what she's doing now and just be more aggressive in the post, get those O boards, and give her team those second chance opportunities to climb back in.
Moreland is the only active player tonight for the Spartans that averages double figures in the points column, also adds in just over 6 rebounds per game. On the other side of the floor, Tatum Thompson, coming off of her best career performance, 21 points at Fresno State, earned her enough for the Mountain West Player of the Week.
She did what I've expected out of her the whole season. She played her game. She was athletic. She was taking shots that she's comfortable taking. She was taking shots she was uncomfortable taking, and just being the aggressive player that I've seen all season.
Thompson, a season ago, the only member of last year's freshman class who did not earn a conference award, but now she gets the big one to hold over her sophomores at this point in the season. Well, it is rematch season. It's the back half of conference play where every game means more. San Jose State and Boise State coming up next. Tip-off coming in just a moment. Here's your starting 5 for the San Jose State Spartans. Sydney Stummers will be at the guard. Sophia Kalameni, Marissa Davis-Jones, Maya Anderson, and interesting development, Samaje Smith starting at the post position rather than Amaya Moreland, our profiled player.
As expected.
Well, she's right after the tip.
Yep.
So they literally just put Samaje Smith in to win the tip, get the first possession, and then they're putting in Amaya Moreland. And as Smith tries to post up on the inside, it's stolen away from the Broncos. Maya Hansen handles on the other side of the floor in the half court. Typical starting 5 for the Broncos. Mary Canero with the ball in her hands at the moment. Abby Muse. Maya Hansen looking inside for Elodie Lalott. And Abby Pasco, the 5th Bronco on the floor. Lalott goes at Smith and gets it nice with the left hand.
That was pretty clean. Good, strong post move, and that's exactly what she's going to need to do.
That's the one downside to starting a typical non-starter in Samaje Smith is once Boise State recognizes that, they're going to attack her early, and that's exactly the style of defender that Elodie Lalott thrives against.
Yes, it's exactly who she wants to play against, is a traditional post.
Davis-Jones, a leaner off the mark. Pasco, entry pass to Muse. Muse going baseline. Reverse layup's good.
Again, great strong, just using Abby's speed and length against her.
And Boise State, all 5 players on the floor, recognizing how they can best attack this defense. From the corner, Kayla Meni. And brought in finally by Maya Hansen. Over the top pass, Muse not able to handle it.
Oh, San Jose's turned it over immediately.
And what San Jose State does so well is they will pressure.
Yes.
They force a lot of turnovers. They're coming off of a game that they lost against Air Force, where Air Force pressured them back, and the Spartans were handed 41 turnovers.
Yeah, I think that's got to be some sort of record somewhere, potentially, because, I mean, San Jose forced also, I think it was
20 of
21.
their own.
Yeah, exactly.
61 total turnovers in the game.
That's a lot of turnovers for one game.
Pasco, the little runner from about 12 feet. Good touch from the typical three-point shooter.
You really do have to have like a perfect touch for that shot.
You'll see a lot of zone from the Broncos. Maya Moreland blocked by Muse on the inside. Moreland ends up with the ball in her hands. A scrum on the floor. Jump ball is called. Possession arrow points for Boise State.
Gotta love Abby being down there as like a security blanket and getting those easy tips. And it's just textbook. She waits until the ball's gone and just literally folds her wrists over.
And the beautiful thing about Abby Muse's defense is she was playing the complete opposite side of the zone, recognized Lalott was beat, came over to help, got there in time, and the block and the cleanup that time by Kayla Mene after a bad turnover, and now another turnover by Boise State. This is what the Spartans do.
Yep, that's that pressure that the Broncos just really aren't used to and turns them over very easily.
And I know that we mentioned in the pregame show that San Jose State is on a 7-game skid in conference play. But that doesn't mean that they're not in these games. They played Boise State tough in the Bay Area earlier this season. Broncos came away with just a 4-point win. Skip pass. Hanson's there to deflect it. Goes off her back and out of bounds.
She lost it in the air. You see her spinning around looking for it. Lost it. No, but I think any team in the Mountain West honestly is capable of winning any game. It's a very competitive league right now, and especially with women's basketball and men's basketball.
Moreland with a quick drive towards the baseline, got her own rebound, poked away by Lalott. Moreland hits the ground again, but lost the handle in favor of Mary Kay Nero.
You're going to have to box out Moreland. She is an O-boards player.
And now a foul on the inside will go against Marissa Davis-Jones, who hooked Abby Muse as Muse was going for the offensive board. And all year long, really, the entirety that this senior class has been in this program, the emphasis has been with assistant coach Heather Sower in the offensive boards.
Yes, it's always been O-boards, because that's just giving your team a second chance opportunity there to get another bucket. And O-boards, I think, are generally decently easy to get as long as you're wanting to get the ball.
And that's something we were talking about before the game started, is this team can do so much whenever you sense their urgency on the floor. A corner three by Sabrina Ma hits bottom.
Yeah, they really can do anything. It's just whether or not they want to.
A lot of pressure from San Jose State. Now a 3-on-1. Pasco, pump fake, kicks back. Hanson, right wing, got it!
Good ball movement, looking for the perfect shot.
Just over 4 minutes into the game. Boise State handling a 9-5 lead. Ma in the corner, skip pass.
Elodie is down there working her butt off.
And it pays off to at least get a deflection. 8 on the shot clock. Summers handles. Takes the screen. Step back. Got it! Wow, this team can really threaten you from deep if they find openings. And Sydney Summers has been a huge player for them with the absence of Jaya Lovett.
This is a really good looking three.
Pasco on the other end. Can't answer. This is the pace of play that the Spartans want to go with. They want to play back and forth, up and down. Broncos much more of a half-court team. Summers on the drive. And a good rebound by Lalott. Narrow, 3-on-1. Pasco in the corner. Oof. Settling for threes on a 3-on-1 is a difficult play to justify. Nonetheless, Broncos holding on to a 9-8 lead thanks to Maya Hanson's three. Plenty more to come. Shay, I mentioned how We've been talking about San Jose State's pressure, and that's what leads to Boise State's keys to the game tonight.
Yeah, they're going to need to take care of the ball and not turn the ball over, be efficient on their on-ball screening. And San Jose State just wants to take care of the ball and create those second-chance opportunities, which they're already doing.
Well, and the other question throughout this whole season for Boise State is who can come off the bench and score. We've seen Danny Bays do it. Finally, Tatum Thompson gets the call last game against Fresno State and goes off for 21. She's the first player off the bench now in the game for the Broncos as they switch up their defense on San Jose State. And they were not prepared for the Broncos to come out and man over the top pass Moreland, the beneficiary, and a good finish.
That was a really good pass. Those are tough passes to make for even the point guard, but also tough passes to catch. Look up. Too late.
I just saw it a little too late, did Thompson. That's the risk-reward style of play that the sophomore plays with. Davis-Jones. Reset halfway through the shot clock with Summers on the right wing. Moreland incredibly active on the inside. They like to go high-low with her. Posts up Muse. Mid-range, no.
I think that was great defense by Abby, letting her get around her, but pushing her out so she's not on the block. She really wants to be on the block. And
blocked from behind was Thompson by Moreland. Now Davis-Jones out in transition. Questionable shot selection. Muse into the body. And a charge is called. Davis-Jones draws it.
Great job by Abby to be aggressive and put the ball on the floor. It's not usually something she likes to do, so I like to see that from her. That was I don't know. That was a little bit of a sus call, but...
You see Abby Muse calling for the flop to the officials.
I could see the flop, but I could also see the charge, so it's a game.
I'm always a fan on... What never gets called is the no call. You just never see no calls. As soon as a player hits the floor, let him play.
Yeah. I think that would have been a really good no call because I think it maybe was more of a flop than an actual charge. But Abby did kind of lower her shoulders, so.
Offensive board from San Jose State. That was Alani Fluker who just checked in, but then lost it. Danny Bays checked in for the Broncos as well. Thompson over Anderson. Tough rebound by Fluker.
Both teams really want it right now. They're all working really hard to get position and get a good shot.
And they are really making Abby Muse work on her interior defense. Summers off the switch, has the advantage, crossover, and the floater did not hit rim. That'll be a shot clock violation as the Broncos get a good defensive stand. Trista Hull will give Abby Muse a rest.
I know Moreland's got to be tired, but I've been on the defensive end of someone who just keeps moving and doesn't stop moving. It's exhausting.
Absolutely it is. And those are the players that you just hate to play against.
Yes.
But
you also
if you're on the
love it.
offensive end, you love to be the player that people hate guarding. Over the top pass. Thompson finds Hull. Good find.
I think that's if the Broncos can break the press, they can get easy buckets.
And we've seen that.
Yes.
The Broncos are getting 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s as soon as they get the ball into the middle, break that press, and then they can just go.
They just need to capitalize and make it a little easier on themselves.
Ma in the corner's got another. And that cross-court pass is going to be there. It's just whether or not they can recognize it early enough. Hull on the roll, has a mismatch. Pass goes fouled by Moreland.
Not only recognize it, but be able to make it.
Right.
I think that's a key distinction there because the Broncos sometimes struggle with those cross-court passes.
Thompson left open for a three. Rattles it home.
I like it. Not usually in her repertoire, but that was a good-looking shot.
Yeah, typically six within 15 feet around that mark.
Yep.
loves to get to the tin, and also has a mean mid-range.
Which, to me, a mid-range shot is the most difficult in basketball.
Hull giving up nothing. Comes down with a defensive board. Narrow. Lightning quick pass to Thompson, who's fouled. I just balled up seeing that pass out of Narrow's hand. I thought she was going to go over the top, but thread the needle.
Yeah, literally threading the needle. That was a pitch-perfect pass.
And Thompson, who has not spent too much time at the free throw line, shooting just under 73% on the season. And goes 2 for 2. Maya Hansen will come in for Mary Kay Narrow. Here's one of the lineups, Shay, that you were telling me this is close to the type of lineup that you've been wanting to see out of the Broncos.
This is the lineup. This is the lineup. This is it.
And immediately with this lineup, you see them come out with a full court press. They do not do it much. Moreland, the offensive board, and finally brought down.
Ooh. This is...
Finds Bays, left wing.
Ooh.
Offensive board by Hull. And that's exactly what this lineup brings to the floor. It's just so much hustle. High motor players all around.
Every single one of them.
Just look at the intensity they're playing with now. As Bays goes 0 for 2 on the trip.
It really is like the intensity took a leap. I would say it leaped up, and they're all just going for it.
Pasco had it stripped away. Shot clock's turned off. 3 seconds. Summers has to hoist. She was practicing that in warm-ups. And the officials will call this off as we see triple zeros. Tatum Thompson hasn't cooled off yet. The reigning Mountain West Player of the Week, getting it done. Well, if you followed Boise State women's basketball over the last 2 decades, you certainly know the name Gordy Presnell. In his 19th season at the helm here in Boise, he is the winningest active coach in the conference and also the 3rd most all-time, and he's just 1 win away from tying 2nd place. Shay, I know this is your guy. He was your coach for all the years that you were here.
All I have to say is I helped him get all those wins.
All of them.
You're welcome, Coach P. You're welcome. Not all of them, just a good chunk of them.
Certainly a good career. I always say Bronco legend Shay Shaw. You always try to shoo me off, but
I do, because
people
I'm
know
not a
you.
legend.
But people know
Legends are old. I'm not old yet.
You're a new legend. A new legend.
Emerging
in
legend.
the making. Thompson got blocked by Moreland in the first possession here of the 2nd quarter. Boise State a 3-point lead. Davis Jones on the drive. 2-handed block by Hull.
I love the 2-handed block. I really do.
It's demoralizing.
Yes. It hurts your feelings.
Especially when it doesn't even leave your hand.
It happened to me a few times, I'll be honest.
That's the price you pay. Playing on the inside. Ma with a pump fake. Step through and hits the mid-range. And then the Spartans a little late to get into their press. So Boise State breaks it easily.
Ooh.
Nice little wraparound pass from Thompson. Hansen finds Bays. Inside to a mismatch with Hull. Pasco sent to the floor, and they're going to call a foul on Maya Anderson. And you can see...
It's more of a hip check, I think. I think that's what he got her on.
Yeah, but you can see every single time that Pasco catches the ball on the perimeter, everyone on the Spartans coaching staff is putting a hand up.
Yes.
And Pasco, who they run off that double screen on baseline out of bounds more than anyone, is fouled on the shot attempt. And last year, really a 3-point shooter. Not saying that she hasn't been effective this year, but she has added so much more to her offensive arsenal now as a sophomore.
Yeah, she's just becoming well-rounded and a difficult person to guard.
And we said early in the season, she had so many games where she's just a sneaky scorer. But I think at this point in the year, she's starting to get a little more confidence and playing with a little more chest, if you will.
She's got the swagger.
It's certainly growing.
Yes, yes, it's growing.
It's hard to sense the swagger in her, but I feel like internally she's got it.
Yes, I think it's there. I just don't know that she knows how to show it.
That's a great way to put it. Narrow and Lalott checked in during those free throws. Sydney Summers has still not come out of the game, and you won't expect to see many minutes without her on the floor. They are running the three-point assassin. Ma off of screen after screen off the ball.
Hoping someone gets caught.
No Moreland in the game, so who can provide the inside presence? 5 on the shot clock. Summers has to go. Step back, double clutch. Oh, got it! I think Summers is at her best when she just says, I'm just going to take you one-on-one.
I agree. Ooh. They're trapping off these screens.
Hansen can't quite finish with the left. Last touched by Lalott. And I'll tell you one thing. Boise State is handling the pressure relatively well, but it's getting them just enough out of the flow of their offense where the Spartans can stay in this thing.
They're speeding up to get through the press, but then they're not really slowing back down and running at the tempo that they want to run at. They're definitely not taking the extra dribble and calming down a little bit.
Summers comes to get it late in the shot clock again. Poked away by Hansen. 1 second. Didn't get it off in time. Another shot clock violation forced by the Broncos.
Great job by the Broncos, forcing them to move the ball and not letting them get those open chances off screens, and great defense, great team defense.
Narrow weaving her way through the full court press. Summers is starting to huff and puff here on the defensive end. She just has so much responsibility without Jaya Lovett and able to force a tie-up and gain possession for her Spartans.
She may be tired, but she's not giving up.
And that was exactly the issue. Last time these teams played, Mary Kay Narrow was not playing with the Broncos. So a lot of that ball handling responsibility fell on Maya Hansen. And the first time she had to deal with that kind of trap and high hedge off of a ball screen, she really didn't know how to handle it. And obviously Hansen's still a sophomore, but that's something that Heather Sower told us in our pregame talk is at this point we know what to expect. And Hansen should be able to handle that pressure off a ball screen. First time she sees it, mishandles.
Yeah, I think you can't, with an aggressive trap like that, you can't attack the trap. You want to dribble, you want to back dribble and ball, unless you're splitting it, unless there's an opportunity to split, which I think she thought she saw for a second. But you really want to back dribble out so you can see the floor.
Summers from the top of the key. Still 17-all. Lalott going to work again in the post.
Yeah, she sprinted the floor and wanted to get that early post up so she could get the ball. That's textbook post, or at least the post that Sower wants.
That is the textbook Boise State post.
Yes, thank you.
There you go. Ma finds inside to Samaje Smith, who blows the bunny, and then the putback on the other side of the rim by Davis Jones.
Way to stay in the air and just put her back in. It's a lot easier than coming back down.
Hansen in the corner, slashing his hole to the high post. And miscommunication with Bays. As Abby Muse will check back in, Maya Moreland will check back in, as will Maya Anderson. And Sydney Summers goes to the floor, so the ball handling will fall on Sophia Kalameni. Good drive
Nice.
by Maya Anderson.
Very nice drive.
And the Spartans take a 2-point lead.
Nice
Lot gets her own rebound. No shot clock reset. Narrow on the drive. Floater, no. And a little slow to get up. A little slow to get up. Pardon me, is MK Narrow.
That one hurt a little bit.
Screen from Moreland. Kayla Mene on the drive. Threw it up with 2 hands. How did that go?
I don't know. I need to see that one again because I literally don't know how it got in. I couldn't see.
Awkward, to say the least.
I didn't see the ball come up, so I swear she like shot it from her hip.
Hanson pressured. Narrow looking for the lot inside. Goes over the top. What a find.
Beautiful pass. That was a perfect pass.
Going into this game, the Broncos knew that the Spartans' weak side defense isn't always there. So if they can get the post defender to front, they're going to have that over the top.
Yep, and they just need to be able to make that pass, and they're totally capable of doing it. That was a beautiful pass.
Anderson finds Ma. Davis Jones, another good drive, but good hands by Narrow to poke it away. No numbers. Narrow senses it. Oh my gosh, how did that get through?
I don't know how it got through, but great job by Abby to keep her hands on it.
Abby Muse finishes, tips it around into herself. We're tied at 23, and Sydney Summers single-handedly keeping the Spartans around. Well, Boise State has predicated themselves on blocks and interior defense for more than a decade at this point. Hull, Lalott, and Muse, the 3-headed monster on the inside, getting blocks after blocks. And boy, oh boy, 3rd in the country, it really pays off.
You know, I think Sower probably doesn't like that there's a block party because she's not big on blocks, but...
Well, if you play good interior defense, you won't need to, but they still find ways.
They do, and like if you're as good at blocking as Abby is, let her go to town because she doesn't ever get in foul trouble. She just blocks. Just let her do it. I'm all for it.
Well, Shay, I'm going to share a secret that you said to me before we went to timeout. You said, put 2 in the game. Lindsay Lavrovich is in the game for the Broncos.
They read my notes.
Kayla Mene, 3-ball, blocked behind by Abby Muse.
Block.
Right on cue.
Let her do it. Oh.
Thread the needle again by Narrow. Lavrovich loses the handle, gets double-teamed, tries to rip away, finally finds Pasco at the top of the key, and can't finish. And then Abby Muse called for an over the back. Oh, that would have been an absolute momentum changer.
It really would have. I love the energy that Lindsay came out with. She immediately sprinted the floor. That is something that not a lot of Broncos like to do. But sprinting the floor like that, you're going to get opportunities because someone has to guard you, and usually 2 people end up guarding you.
And we have hyped up Lindsay Lavrovich in her limited minutes this season. Just plays with so much grit and attitude. Oh, miscommunication on the drive. Grizel comes down with the offensive rebound and a tie-up as multiple Broncos had hands on the ball on the inside.
Can't tie it up if you keep moving. She tries to keep moving.
I think Grizel changed her pivot foot about 4 times.
There was also a lot of arm action in there.
Tons.
Like, you can't throw people off you.
Nonetheless, Broncos end up with the ball. Full court pressure again, and as always from San Jose State. Half-court set called out by Mary Kay Narrow. Thompson operating on the inside. Oh, throws it right to Sydney Summers, who split through the passing lane and finishes on the other end.
Bounce passes are generally a slower pass.
More numbers. As Narrow quickly broke the press off the dribble.
Shoot it.
Lavrovic, the drive, blocked by Ma, ends up with a lot who misses. And then Thompson finishes for the end one opportunity. And when you're watching this team play, one thing that you'll notice about the sophomore, number 0 in white, Tatum Thompson does not change her expression. We were talking to the coaching staff before this game. I asked, what was Tatum's response to winning this reward? How did she react to it? And she said, I mean,
blank
the
face.
Same way she always does, blank face, just no concern.
I'm sure she
teammates
feels,
were thrilled for her.
Yeah, I'm sure she feels the concern, but it's, I mean, I didn't like to show nothing either, so I get it.
Stolen away by Lalott. Up ahead, Lavrovic leaking out again, gets fouled. Just adds such an extra element to the transition offense.
She's always sprinting. Literally, I don't think there's a time where she's not sprinting the floor.
And I know parents and coaches aren't supposed to have favorites, but it's hard for Lindsay Lavrovic not to be a coach's favorite. She just does everything they ask of her.
She's always given that extra effort, and that's all coaches ever want.
Coaches also like it when you make free throws.
Valid.
And goes 1 for 2. Well, we knew that in the past these teams have been riddled with turnovers and takeaways. There have been 19 combined turnovers in this game. San Jose State with 10 and Boise State with 9. Once again, deep into the shot clock, they find Summers. Summers trying to make something happen. Smith didn't see the shot clock, and the third shot clock violation of the game for San Jose State.
Great job by the Broncos. I'm going to say it every time they get them to get that buzzer to go off, because that's just great team defense and great communication.
So all season, the Spartans have been a second-half team. So Boise State knew that they had to take advantage and try to get ahead early in the first half, as they did the last time they played San Jose on the road. Now it's looking like Boise State's going to have to put in a little more work in the second quarter, or the second half, but Trista Hull will put it in right now.
Going on a little run, I like it. Getting that little bit of, hopefully a little bit of a cushion going into half, but you're not wrong. I think the Broncos are going to have to come out of their halftime talk just giving all of that extra effort, because San Jose State is going to be coming out hard.
What I love about that play that we just saw is Lalott having the awareness to recognize the quick double and then hold to dive. That is really good post-to-post play.
It's that communication that you develop over the years of just knowing when something's going to happen, or seeing it before it happens, or seeing it as it's happening, and just being able to anticipate it.
And I think interior passing is one of the hardest things to coach, and you're right, it only comes with years of playing together.
Yep.
Summers, 5 on the shot clock. Gets past Lavrovic and finishes as the horn blows. A slim 2-point margin in favor of Boise State. About a 6.5-second difference between shot and game clock, but it won't matter as Lavrovic just throws it out of bounds. And the shot clock turns off. So San Jose State a chance here to tie or take the lead heading in to the halftime break. Ends up in the hands of Sabrina Ma, who ties things up at 29 with a tough finish. Still time. Narrow hits ahead to Lavrovic. Lavrovic in and out. Has to put it up. And just got double teamed a little too late. Mary Kay Narrow talking her on her way back to the huddle, saying, hey, we got to put that one up one way or another. Everyone putting in a little work, but turnovers has been the story of the first half. We're tied at 29. Probably not the halftime score that Boise State was looking for, as they are tied at 29 with the 6-14 San Jose State Spartans. Shay Shaw and Tyler Lundquist with you here in Extra Mile Arena as we take a look back at the first half highlights. We'll start with the reigning Mountain West Player of the Week, Tatum Thompson, coming off of a 21-point performance, and she is leading the way for the Broncos with 8, seemingly just knowing where to look for her shots at this point.
Yeah, I told her before the game, I said, just ball out. Just do you. And she's doing exactly that. She is balling out. She is playing her game and doing whatever it takes. I mean, and not playing her game, because she generally doesn't shoot a lot of threes.
And she hasn't. She's only shot 1 and she's made it.
Yeah.
So she's still sticking to it. But I think that's the key, exactly what you said to her. That's been the key with Tatum Thompson all season long, is keep it simple. Just play your game. Go out there and play. You know, Coach Sower said to us that Tatum plays at her best when we run plays for her. When the ball is in her hands, she's just a playmaker, and that's what she does.
Yep, that's exactly what she does, and just let her do it.
Well, we mentioned that San Jose State has been without their leading scorer, Jaya Lovett, who is a stud freshman out of California, but picking up the slack today, out of nowhere seemingly, has been Sabrina Ma, who's shooting under 30% on the season from 3, but she's got 10 points in the first half for the Spartans.
I said at the beginning of the game that everyone's going to have to step up and elevate their game, and that's exactly what she's doing. She's stepping up to the plate and swinging and hitting homers.
It has been turnover, turnover, turnover. 11 for San Jose State, 10 for Boise State. The question was, which team is going to clean it up best, and the answer right now is neither. So we'll see how they come out in the second half. We'll cover more first half in just a bit. Broncos and Spartans tied at 29. We're in the back half of Mountain West play on the season, and these games are crucial. Boise State has said that this stretch of games is imperative. And if we look at these first half stats, I don't know if they're playing with the intensity that they're needing to win against the team that is a must-win.
I think they're playing with the intensity, but I think San Jose State is matching that intensity, if not playing with a little bit more intensity and just forcing those turnovers. And honestly, I think where the big difference and the big standout here for me is those rebounds. They're giving themselves second chance opportunities.
Well, the big thing for Boise State this year is this is one of the best three-point shooting teams that they have had in decades. They came into the game shooting just over 36% from 3. They are just 2 for 7. Yep, I had that right, making sure I did. They're just 2 for 7 from 3, and Natalie Pasco is 0 for 3 from downtown, who is one of the nation's best.
Yeah, it's very unlike her, and I think that part of that is the intensity that San Jose State is bringing, and they're not letting her get those shots off that she normally gets. We talked about it earlier. Every coach has their hand up as soon as she gets the ball, so she's going to have to work in order to get open.
All the way down the bench, San Jose State is executing their game plan near perfectly. They are keeping shooters from having open shots. They are turning Boise State over at a high clip, and they are rebounding. They are out-rebounding one of the best rebounding teams in the conference, who comes into today with an average rebound margin of +6 to the Broncos. And at the half, the Spartans are up 5 in that category. So a lot to be turned around by Boise State as they look to start off a tough 4-game stretch with a win. Second half coming up next. Well, Shay and I have been talking about it all night long, is the sloppy play and its turnovers. Sure, there have been blocks here and there and tough plays to make, but at the end of the day, both teams are getting flustered by pressure.
Yeah, they're both really getting frustrated, and just calm down. It's basketball. You can handle the ball. Just be confident that you can handle the ball, and don't turn the ball over or throw it out of bounds. I feel like that's
certainly easier said than done, I would say.
No, I would not say. I'm just kidding. I have also suffered from many turnovers, but as many as they're having right now, it is easier said than done.
Well, San Jose State, who is on a 7-game losing streak, starting to turn it around. At least they seemingly are tonight. Here's a look at their upcoming schedule. They are in a gauntlet, and honestly, in the Mountain West, most teams are at this point in the season, but you look at who they have coming up. San Diego State on the road at New Mexico and Fresno State, 2 tough places to play. And, I mean, San Jose State's really going to have to put it together to get some wins even make the conference tournament.
Yeah, they have a really tough road ahead of them, but with the way they're playing right now, I think they're capable.
I think especially if you factor in that Jaya Lovett could be coming back any game now. You never know what her status is going to be day in, day out. So if they could get her back, they could really start to build on some momentum.
They could totally flip it around and win out.
And for Boise State, we've been alluding to this imperative 4-game stretch as we take a look at who they have coming up, because these 4 games, including tonight, these are all games against middle-of-the-pack teams where they have to start separating themselves and launch themselves into that top echelon in the conference standings.
Yep, exactly. I think that is the most important thing about these next 4 games, is that they have the opportunity to separate themselves from the middle of the pack and get back to the Boise State basketball that
you look first towards that Wyoming game coming up here on Saturday. When they last saw Wyoming on the road, that was a game in Laramie that Boise State thought they had, and they should have won them because they caught Wyoming on an off night. So we'll see how their energy changes coming to Extra Mile. And then, of course, Utah State, a team that you expect to beat, but playing in Logan is a different animal.
Yep.
And then Nevada, who you took a bad loss to on your home floor. Now you have to go on the road in Reno, and I mean this is why there's such tough games at this point in the season.
Yeah, no, they lost those games that they shouldn't have lost early on, and now it'll be more of a comeback and revenge game. Like, we're not walking out of this without a win, and I think that's how they need to look at it.
Well, scouting is certainly easier when you're seeing all these teams for a second time. You know what to expect, but at that point, all it comes down to is execution. Can you make the shots? Can you get the stops? And Boise State, they've had some questionable goes, but they certainly, we talk about this all season long, they absolutely have the potential to beat anyone on any given night, and a chance not to just beat them, but to beat them.
Yes, they really do have that opportunity, and I wish they could capitalize on it more and just own it. Own being a Bronco and just beat them. But
just play Bronco basketball.
Yeah, just play. Let loose and just play. That's all I want them to do. Just play.
And with such a veteran group, we haven't even talked about the age difference between these 2 teams tonight. San Jose State, remarkably young. They only start 1 upperclassman, and they've got a first-year head coach, whereas you look on the other side, and you've got seniors up and down the lineup. You have a really strong sophomore class and a coaching staff who's been here forever. So with that veteran team, you would expect that they know how to turn it around and just win.
You would expect that. It's something you would definitely expect. I think that's just somewhere where we struggle coming together to get it done.
And at this point, they're going to have to prove it. And this is going to be a crucial first 4 minutes to see how they come out of the halftime locker room and what adjustments they make. Abby Muse looks like she got hit in the face. She's squinting as she's the last one into the front court.
Oh, she definitely got hit in the eye. It's a little red. Maybe the nose.
Moreland able to get around the Lalott post-up. And another turnover for the Broncos.
Starting off with a turnover is pretty tough.
Anderson left wing, looking for Maw. Pasco ran her off the 3-point line, kicks back to Anderson, and Muse pulls down another rebound. Didn't have too many in the first half, did Abby Muse? And they're just going to have to get their leading rebounder into the paint a little more. There's an offensive board for her and puts it right back up and in.
As you said it, she got the rebound.
She's already got 3 rebounds in the first minute and a half. Not even minute and a half.
Well, we need her to get a lot more. A lot more. Every rebound I want Abby to get.
Every single rebound.
Yep.
Sower has Abby has told us that Sower has said to her, get every board before, and it's worked. High arcing three, offensive rebound on the backside by Ma.
I think there was a missed box out by Natalie, but I wasn't watching. I watched how high that ball went up.
And now Summers once again takes the ball screen and backs it out. Good hands by Muse to tie it up and gain possession for the Broncos. That's in the scouting report for Sydney Summers, as she has range from three, but a relatively limited driver.
Mm-hmm. She wants to shoot it before she drives. She looks like she's hurting a little bit.
Yeah, it does look like that. Summers maybe went knee to knee.
That's what I was thinking.
But still effective on the defensive end. Gets another deflection. Maybe 10 on the shot clock, inside to Muse. Muse trying to split defenders. Throws it up wildly, looking for a foul call. And no luck. Anderson hits. Pasco can't answer. Muse going after every offensive rebound. Last touched by the Bronco. And an early second half substitution to bring Tatum Thompson into the game for Elodie Lalott. We have mentioned how back and forth this game is. Already 6 lead changes. Or pardon me, no, it's been 7 lead changes now after that last one taken by the Spartans.
Ooh.
Oh, Ma went straight into the body of Hansen. Hansen held her ground.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Hansen, she is a really good charge taker. She's just ready and falls.
Great
Lets them run them
side
over.
defense, selfless defense. You hear of selfless offense. Oh, great find by Narrow. Muse wide open.
Like I said, we said it earlier, if you can make that pass, it's there, it's open.
And that forces a timeout from San Jose State. Another lead change. Broncos take the lead, 33-22. We'll take a break and be right back. Broncos on top by 1. Well, someone certainly found her groove in the halftime locker room. Abby Muse has come out and been a force here to start this third quarter.
She's wanting that win, whether it's getting a block, saving a basket, or taking it to the hole and running the floor. She's really showing how much she wants it.
And she's now got 8 points, 6 rebounds, as MK Narrow providing a lot of pressure. Sydney Summers back on the bench, so once again they find Ma, who can't hit that time. Her first miss from deep, and another jump ball. This one stays with the Spartans.
Jump ball, possession 2, San Jose State.
No one letting go there. Thompson is so strong. She really is.
You wouldn't think so just looking at her. No offense, Tatum, but I mean, I feel like the same could be said for a lot of the players. They just don't look that strong, but like they can surprise you. They really are.
And you see Muse just coming down a little too early with that arm, and the second officials see that, they're blowing the whistle. And Abby knows that too.
Yes, and her timing is generally like perfect, but there are times where you just get a little too excited.
Yeah, that was Abby's 3rd foul, so she will take a seat on the bench. Moreland misses the front end. Good foul.
Does the ball lie?
It was a foul.
It
was a foul.
It was a foul. But probably good foul.
Press break has been key for the Broncos. The Spartans have forced a couple of turnovers off of it. Thompson on the short roll from the mid-range, not quite enough height.
That's a really tough shot. especially from the baseline.
Narrow, just a little too much hand fighting on Kayla Meny.
I think the refs recognize that the aggressive defense on both ends is maybe a little bit too handsy.
The thing that doesn't get talked about in basketball games is, yes, teams go to the locker room and they make adjustments, but so do the officials.
Yep, they talk about what maybe they saw and should have called, or things that they saw the other person could have called but didn't. And so they definitely come out with their adjustments as well.
Anderson in the corner. Good board by Thompson.
I would like to see a spin move added to Tatum's repertoire.
That would be pretty lethal. She gets that half step a lot of the time.
Or even just a fake, just to get him, so she can get a little bit of room.
A little dream shake, if you will.
It's my favorite.
Just a little shoulder dip. It's all you need.
Anything to make the defense think you're going the opposite way.
I think ultimately what it comes down to is she needs to develop a gear that is not 6.
Yeah. Yep. A little bit of a hesitation in there. And you notice San Jose State is running.
Another hand check. Boy, these officials certainly talked at the halftime.
A lot of hand checks that weren't called in the first half are now being called now.
And Trista Hall will check back in for Tatum Thompson, so a quick stint for the sophomore. Still tied at 33. Oh, goodness. It's been that kind of game.
Yep. Here, let me just give the ball back to you. Ooh.
The dribble pass.
Yep.
Pasco running off multiple screens, kicks back to Hull. Hull didn't even look at the basket, had a whole seam to go. 10 on the shot clock. A lot from the high post. And stolen away. Jump ball. Possession stays with the Broncos. And there was no change in possession, so the shot clock will not reset. When we come back, the Broncos will have 3 seconds to get a shot off. We're tied at 33. One thing I will say about this Boise State team, Shay, is that they have been sharing the rock really well this year. Mary Kay Narrow leads the way with 4.5 a game. She's got 5. And that's the 8th game this season where she's got 5 or more. Trista Hall just had to throw up a prayer and couldn't hit it as the shot clock expired.
You're not wrong. They really are sharing the ball well. They're looking for one another, and that's some good offense. It's just sometimes that we're not converting or maybe passing the ball too much. But I love sharing the ball because I share the ball with everybody.
Of course. You never call your own number, do you?
Nope.
Never, ever. Inside Ma, runner no. And a lot of good rebound. Always looking for Narrow in the transition offense. Splits through everyone. Machetes the defense and finishes.
I like that. Take it. Take the ball take the game into your own hands at this point.
Narrow is such a good facilitator. She is such a good passer, such a good defender. But then the question is, where is her offensive threat? It's right there in the transition offense.
Yep, where you just can't stop her.
Summers once again deep in the shot clock. Ma in the corner. Pump fake and a drive. Couldn't get it off again. Oh, they're going to call a jump ball before it. And San Jose State will have 1 second to get a shot off.
I don't know.
I think it's a little early.
Yeah.
Little early.
I'm like, it's got to be like 3 seconds for a jump ball, I think. And that was not 3 seconds. But then again, 3 seconds in the key feels like 12.
Right. Blocked by Narrow.
No! Wow. No way. The ball went off after it was already blocked. Or the clock. That was really bad.
That is my unbiased analyst partner, Shay Shaw, here on the side.
I'm
Certainly a Bronco alum.
I mean, that was just a textbook defense, so I feel her pain. I think that's why I screamed. I just feel that pain for her. Because that would have been a layup.
Hansen getting pressured. Gets past one. Tries to find a cutting Lalott. Lalott gets on the floor, and we're going to have another tie-up.
At least everybody wants the ball.
A little intensity.
Yeah, I like it.
Needed it. But it's those types of passes.
Yes.
That are across the entire paint.
With a bounce pass.
On a short back door.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just tough to find. Summers hit the deck. Hole ends up wide open, and her mid-range is short. And then they're going to call legs getting twisted up, a trip by Elodie Lalott. And Coach Gordy Presnell is as beside himself as you will see.
He's upset. I think everybody in this arena is upset.
The only thing I will say is interesting. Turnover. Well, if you came to watch a basketball game filled with turnovers and whistles, you are in the right place. Boise State leads 35-33 with just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Talia Lundquist and Shay Shaw with you here on the Mountain West Network.
Whistles and turnovers.
Pasco gets past a couple, and Lalott is there to clean it up.
I think she meant to pass it, and it just looked like a shot.
We'll say that.
Should go down as an assist.
Any air ball is a pass. Davis-Jones going against Hull. Blocked by Hull.
That was great.
And then last touch by Davis-Jones. Hull sent it straight back to her.
That was Hull knowing the scouting report.
That is the second demeaning block by Trista Hull tonight.
Yep. Davis-Jones does not want to use her left. Trista was giving her left, and she still went right. She just knew the scout. That was great defense.
Good find by Hull. Pasco finishes.
That was just really good ball movement by the Broncos. Just waiting for the perfect opportunity for someone to be open.
I think what you're seeing right now is a little bit of Boise State saying, hey, we're not getting the calls. We'll do it anyway. Over the top. Pasco can't quite handle it. A little too strong by MK Nero.
I liked her thought process, just a little too strong. She also had, I think, Maya on the wing wide open.
And that's what Coach Gordy Presnell was telling her. Don't have to go over the top every time. She's been trying to make that play. And to be fair, it's gotten through pretty much every time.
Yep, she has been making it.
But the defense is becoming aware to it. Moreland bodying on Lalott. Lalott strips it away.
I think that was a good no call because there was a dip in his shoulder, but also...
Ooh! Pasco finishes! The bucket and the bruise! Uncle Mo is on the side of the Broncos.
Wow.
Euro cut short.
Cut short, and then just, I feel like she just kind of threw it up there because, like, hey, I got to throw it up there and get a shot, but it rattled in. You love to see it.
Pasco, the only Bronco averaging double digits in the scoring column on the year. They have distributed scoring so well throughout the course of the season. But Natalie Pasco, time and time again, has been leading the charge. We talked to this coaching staff. They said Natalie Pasco is as solid as they come.
Yep.
Never afraid to miss a shot.
No, we were talking about her going, I think it was 0 for 4 at half from three-point line, but she's finding other ways to score.
And she still hasn't made a three, which is her bread and butter. I mean, she's top 10 nationally in three-point field goal percentage. But that's going to be the scouting report. And with a team like San Jose State that provides so much pressure throughout, they're going to try to run her off the three-point line every chance they get. But to her credit, she is finding other ways.
She's doing whatever it takes.
It's a 9-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 11 seconds for the Broncos. This is more of the dominant play style that we expected to see early in this game.
I expected to see this like first quarter, but San Jose State matched their intensity and matched every bucket that they were giving. So it was a lot harder for the Broncos to have that separation. And I think now that they're not settling for threes and they're being a little more aggressive inside, the Broncos are doing what they do best.
And I'm going to say it right now. It has started with intensity by that one, Mary Canero and Trista Hull. They have been spark plugs for this offense and defense to start this second half all the way through this third quarter.
100%. They're doing the things that they don't always do, like going for that steal. I feel like MK on a normal day wouldn't go for that, but she's feeling it. She's just giving it her all right now.
We have seen her not necessarily, I want to say take over a game, but when you say take over, you think it's like hitting every shot and taking all the shots, but she's doing it so many other ways, and she's taking it over and putting the defense into her own hands. She's providing pressure back to the pressure of San Jose State.
That's exactly
if that makes sense.
It makes sense to me. I hope
right.
it makes sense to everybody else, but no, that's exactly what she's doing.
Danny Bays, just a little too much contact on that poke from behind.
I think it's that offhand. Yep, she kind of nudges her with her offhand while she's trying to go for the ball, and that's where you're going to get that call.
And that's the fifth team of the quarter. Brings up 2 foul shots for Maya Anderson. Honestly, if you're inside of a minute in a quarter, I think this is exactly the physical 5 fouls that you should get to. You don't want to have too few fouls that you're not playing physical enough, which we saw in the first half. But now here in the third quarter, I think they're starting to pick it up and provide a little more grit.
I think the refs are also calling a little bit more.
Sure.
Because they were definitely there.
Oh, the head fake and the pass ahead. Bays had a lot inside, tried to find a cutting hole, threw it to Anderson. Summers, deep, rattles out. And Hull pulls down her 6th rebound.
So the Broncos are going to use the whole clock.
15 seconds, no shot clock. 9-point lead and a chance to extend with 10 minutes to play. A little stagnant here with 5. Inside to Lalott, poked away, ends up with Ma. And that'll do it. So couldn't get one last shot off. This was the quarter of Natalie Pasco finding her way and getting the roll. 44-35, Broncos lead. Broncos up 9 after being tied at the half. Talia Lundquist with Shea Shaw here. What did the Broncos come out with in that third quarter that worked?
A little bit of grit. I think they came out with grit. I think Pasco and MK both were coming out aggressive and just wanting to win, doing things that they're not necessarily is in their comfort zone. For example, Pasco, I know she can be a driver and she is a driver, but her bread and butter is the three-point shot, and it hasn't been falling tonight, so she came out driving.
I would be shocked if she doesn't look for another. That's another foul called on the Broncos. This time, Trista Hull, who
where was the foul?
Was standing her ground at minimum.
I think the foul came because she just stood there and stepped back, but I don't know. I guess fall next time, if that's how he's going to call it. Just fall down. Maybe you'll get the charge.
In this league? Well, I guess she did.
She did kind of.
She did instigate a little bit.
It's tough calling it live when it looks a totally different way, and then the replay is like, oh, okay, I see what he saw now.
At least we're big enough to admit when we're wrong.
Yes. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Pasco finds an open shot. Not quite enough legs. And another tie-up.
How many? I want to
That's
know.
the fourth tie-up of the half.
That's a lot this game. I feel like in normal basketball, there's maybe 1 or 2 tie-ups, but that just means everyone's trying to grab the ball. But no one can grab the ball.
Abby Muse checks back in for Elodie Lalott. And 4 different Broncos tied with 8 points. Abby Muse is one of them and can't make it 10.
That was a good shot, though. You can definitely expect San Jose State to come out a little more aggressive on the offensive end.
Moreland goes baseline, can't hit. Sorry, Shay.
No, I was just going to say looking to go to Moreland.
Bays, wide open. Too strong.
Too much time, maybe? It's a good shot, standing shot, just...
It's that one that you think about for that half second. Pasco, backdoor, what a find!
What a pass! That was a beautiful pass, Trista.
It looked from our angle like there was no angle.
It really didn't.
Anderson driving hard. And tipped out of bounds by Trista Hull. Maya Anderson starting to take the attacking into her own hands. She knows that they're going to have to get to the rim, especially with these officials calling it a little tighter here. Try to get to the free throw line a little more. Pasco stolen away easily. Sabrina Ma in help and bumped before blocked, and Ma can't believe it.
Oh, I want to know what was said there.
It's a heck of a read by Pasco.
She did get ball, but still being bumped like that, it's going to be a foul.
Points. Make it 11 for Pasco, who was the best free throw shooter on the team a season ago. Shooting just over 82% on the season after those two. But Maya Hansen has proved to be really good at getting to the free throw line and executing. She leads the Broncos at just over 85%.
That's a great percentage. You love to see that, especially for free throws.
Now, if you look down to the posts, the post free throw shooting is what we won't talk about.
Never talk about post free throw shooting. Haven't you ever heard of Shaq? Can't hit
The
nothing.
name rings a bell. An 11-point Broncos lead, 8 minutes to go. San Jose State in the dog days of their season, just looking for a little life. Summers once again can't get it off in time. Another shot clock violation.
Another round of great team defense and not turning the ball over.
Full court pressure, all 40 minutes that you'll see from San Jose State.
They really have to be in some great condition because full pressing for a whole game. Oh. Full pressing for a whole game is very, very exhausting, especially with the intensity in just their defense. So they have to be in great condition.
And you're only traveling 10. You've got a bunch of scratches. Hansen's left wide open and hits bottom.
She got it, and she knew that thing was going in.
That play has worked more than anything for the Broncos this year. I don't know how many open threes they've had off of that exact baseline out-of-bounds play this year. Mile looking for Moreland inside. Finds her. Tries to go baseline on Muse, and Muse is called for a block. That's her 4th personal.
I want to see the replay before I speak, because last time I was wrong. But
okay. Well said.
No words.
Well said. Wise words from Shay Shaw.
Just noises.
Davis Jones once again looking for Moreland. Oh, pull up from the mid-range, hits it.
Hands down, man's down.
That's just Moreland's 2nd made field goal. She's only got 5 points off of 10 shot attempts.
I think the Broncos have done a great job of not allowing her to play the game that she wants to play.
Well, not a threat from 3.
Nice pass.
Oh, good pass over the top. Lalott can't hit the reverse layup. Holt pulls down the offensive board and then's fouled by Davis Jones.
I think on both ends of the floor, everyone's getting really confused on these foul calls. Because if you look at the players after the foul is called, everyone's like, what?
I think if you look at the benches, it's even funnier.
But I think it comes to they were doing this in the first half, but now it's being called.
Pasco, the drive, the floater, fouled. Pasco has been much better this season at understanding how opponents are going to play her and using that to her advantage.
I think it's also helping with the back half of this schedule and just knowing that they are going to be tougher on the 3. She's going to have to work if she wants to get an open 3, but she's not stopping. She's attacking the basket and getting those floaters, which are really hard to hit, but she seems to be able to hit them.
I was just about to say that. I mean, she knows that they're going to run her off the 3-point line, so she's driving, but it's not a mid-range pull-up, which she could absolutely hit, and she's not really attacking the glass. I think she just doesn't quite have that confidence on the interior quite yet.
Yep, I would agree with that. I think that's why she settles for that floater, but, I mean, she knocks it down a lot of the time, so...
Oh, couldn't slow herself down, could Maya Anderson. Davis Jones is slow to get up in the backcourt and limping across the half-court line. Trista Holt pokes it back to Pasco. Mary Kay wide open and splashes it in.
They're having fun now.
Five and a half minutes. Broncos up 17. And a reminder, they were tied at the half.
Okay, Elodie.
Lalott with a wide open steal. And Mary Kay Nero says, hey, let's slow it down, run our set. Pasco, another floater. Hull, a rebound, her 10th of the game. Throws it to no one, ends up with Nero. Pasco, wide open in the corner.
Yes! Threes are contagious.
Threes are contagious, and second chance points have been an absolute killer.
And the killer being Trista. She's out there getting those second chance opportunities for the Broncos. I mean, you saw her earlier diving on the floor. Ooh, that was a nice 3. But you saw her diving on the floor for a ball that wasn't really going to her, but she dove and passed it out and kept it alive.
Trista Hull has 10 rebounds in the game in just 20 minutes. 5 offensive. Another offensive board. The 12th rebound from the Broncos tonight. Oh, Pasco able to get a handle and finish. Oh, goodness. Pasco's got 19.
I don't know how she got that one. I feel like she tripped and she just reached her hand out and just got it. That was lucky and pretty at the same time.
Davis Jones is just openly communicating. Hold on. Did they call a timeout or just walk out of bounds?
She walked out of bounds because she didn't want to call a timeout, so she took the turnover.
Interesting decision. Broncos up big, 61-42, 3:55 to go. So we did just get clarification from the official that it was a turnover because San Jose State is out of timeouts, but they needed a break to get to the media timeout, so they just walked out of bounds.
Never would have thought of it, but got to do what you got to do, I guess.
Boise State is already making moves to empty out the back end of the bench as Caitlin Burgess goes to the scorer's table. Abby Muse back into the game with her 4 personal fouls.
They are face guarding Pasco, not letting her get the ball.
Oh, good find. Muse finishes.
If I were Pasco, I would just stand out by half court, take your player out of it, just go 4-on-4.
Natalie Pasco's got 19. We were talking about her free throw shooting. She set a career high tonight, making 6 free throws. If you are that good of a scorer, that should be an every night thing for Natalie.
I think she could probably expect to be face guarded maybe the rest of the season.
Another easy layup for Boise State. They've got 13 steals.
That's a lot of steals. I think one thing they have for them, or San Jose State is running out of gas. They look exhausted, but that's what happens when they're pressing the whole game.
Thompson on her own. And Coach Gordy Presnell will call a timeout just to get substitutions in the game. Alyssa Christensen, Caitlin Burgess, and Jada Clark.
Tatum literally just saw her holding the ball out and just picked her pocket. Literally picked her pocket.
Wow. Well, I said to you during the break, I said, when this team is playing well, they are fun to watch. They now lead by 25 after being tied at halftime.
But I guess they got the second half lead that they wanted in the first half.
Thompson, another rebound. She's got 12 points. 3 Broncos in double figures.
That's some good Bronco basketball to me.
Finds Thompson. She wants more.
Give me the ball. That was Tatum.
It's a great impersonation. Spot on.
Sounds nothing like that. It's fine. Ooh.
Yep. Maya Hansen draws her second charge of the night. And here comes Allie Heckman and Mackenzie Nero to round out the Benergy squad. That's bench energy for those wondering.
I figured it out. I knew what you were talking about. 0 questions from me. I like it. It should be added to the dictionary.
Oh, Christensen was wide open down low. Burgess, good drive and fouled on the attempt.
I like it, though. I like the ball movement because San Jose State is handsy, so they're going to try and get in there and rip the ball or get a jump ball, and she just kept it out of their reach.
Well, that's the thing with the 5 on the floor right now for the Spartans is they've got 95 seconds. They've got nothing to lose. They're not in foul trouble or anything. Might as well play as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And Burgess good on the first. Incredible defense in this second half. We've talked over and over about these Broncos offense here in the last 2 periods, but it's the defense. They have held the Spartans to 13 points over the last 19 minutes.
They definitely picked up the, I don't know if it's intensity, but just I would say it's more about communication, and it was a lot of really good team defense. And just steals.
Another jump ball. Christensen thought she was hacked by Grizel.
It's always fun when you have the ball and someone's trying to rip it from you and the refs are blowing the whistle, but you're still not letting go of the ball because you have the ball.
Yep, you got to be the last one. Summers weaving. Kicks back to the lefty. Grizel who's got a mismatch on Clark. And, yeah, another jump ball. I would really, really love to know how many possession tie-ups there have been.
There's been a lot.
Oh, and now Sydney Summers is, it looked like an intentional foul on Jada Clark. So Jada Clark with an easy opportunity to get into the scoring column tonight. This is absolutely the second half that Boise State needed, knowing the stretch of games that they are going into.
Oh, yes. I think this is going to give them a bit of a confidence boost going into Wyoming on Saturday, and they're going to need to play some really good basketball if they're going to want to walk away with that win.
And certainly they're
capable.
Starting to play it, and, of course, you've always got that home court advantage.
Yes.
It's fun to play in the X.
I agree. Especially now that the fan base has grown a little bit.
And on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, you would expect nothing less.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good
that was
move
nasty
by Summers.
spin.
Just couldn't slow herself down. Ends up in the hands of Heckman. Now Burgess, narrow. Trying to push, and they will have to get one more shot off. As the Broncos lead by 30. Heckman, 3-ball. Oh, just rattles out. Offensive board, Clark. Clark was fouled on the go.
I like seeing guards getting no boards. Doesn't happen often, but
Does not happen often. You'll see Mary Kay get a few.
I bet Sower is elated. She loves rebounds.
Well, Mary Kay Nero had 2 today. She had 2 offensive boards.
Hey.
There you go. And Clark continuing to be good from the free throw line. Broncos can pretty much, well, they got to play one more defensive possession, especially going against Sydney Summers, and they get another turnover. That is the 27th turnover on the Spartans. Jada Clark will dribble it out, and for the 3rd time this season, the Boise State Broncos win by 30 or more. 73-42, an unbelievably dominant second half by Boise State.
I'd say fourth quarter.
We'll be back with post-game interviews in just a bit. A big Broncos win, 73-42. We're joined post-game and courtside by Natalie Pasco, who led the charge with 19 points. Natalie, you have led this offense in scoring pretty much this whole season. But what can you say about the rest of the offense that helps you in the scoring column?
Yeah, I think we just do a pretty good job of moving the ball, finding the open passes. We've been working on kickouts from the post, from their double, that kind of thing. So just playing our game, staying in control, and just finding the open person on the court.
Being the leading scorer for most of the conference, or most of the season, do you feel like you're playing with a little bit of swagger?
Sometimes, maybe.
Okay, well, a follow-up question on that. When do you play with swagger?
I think once I get it going a little bit. I mean, I think tonight my three-point shot wasn't there, so I just tried to find some other ways to contribute, run in transition, hit my free throws, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what Shay and I were talking about, is you're finding a lot of different ways to score, which is really helping you all around as a scorer. I want you to, for your last question, to answer the locker room talk. You were tied at 29 at the half, and then you came out and beat them by 31 in the second half. What was that talk like, and how important was that second half for you moving forward?
Yeah, I think we just talked about how we came out pretty slow. We know we were capable of more, and we were a better team. And just to come out strong in that second half, bring more energy, not rush our passes, just play our game and stay in control.
All right, well, we appreciate it. Another good game from you, Natalie.
Thank you.
We will have Elodie Lalott joining us in just a moment. But once again, Natalie Pasco finishing with 19 points to lead all scorers in the game. As here, Elle putting on the headset.
Yeah.
Elle, another good win. This was one that really felt like you needed to have against a struggling Spartans team, especially looking at the few games that you've got coming up. This was a must-win. What was the mindset coming into it?
We just wanted to have one good game that will make us like finish the season strong. We beat Fresno State last week, but we wanted a game that like we could start the third quarter good and just play good throughout the whole game, where post and the guards all play good together.
I know you guys break it out between post and guards usually at halftime. What was Sower's post talk to you guys?
If you can say it.
Exactly.
She just wanted us to do better on defense, make sure we could like get the O boards. She really wants us to rebound, and even though we still had a couple of rebounds in the first half, she wanted us to crash the boards, attack the post, and just help the guards as much as we could.
So at halftime, you were -5 in the rebound category. You beat them in the second half by 9 in rebounds. And Shay and I were talking about it in that second half, is how second chance points were such a big factor for you. What do you take from this game into the rest of conference play leading into postseason?
I think for the rebounding part, having the guards crash the boards helped us a lot. I think that's why the rebounding was so much better in the second half, is the guards got involved and helped us a lot. So I think that's something we want to focus on for the rest of the season, is just crashing the boards, getting those second chances points so we could get some easy buckets.
All right, Elle, another good game and another good win for the Broncos. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that's Elodie Lalott, 8 points, 7 boards, and an assist on the night. Shay, if we just look over final stats here, you mentioned it was mostly a dominant fourth quarter, but it really kind of turned halfway through that third to see the stats and the difference that you're seeing now.
Yes, it really did. And as Elle was talking about rebounds, I was talking about at halftime how it was not balanced at all. And the Broncos flipped it around and put an emphasis on rebounds, and you could really see it in their offense.
Just 6 second-half turnovers by Boise State, 16 by San Jose State in that second half. So it was that intensity that we had been asking for in those first 2 periods that they finally turned it around. And both Natalie and Elodie were talking about that, is how important that is to play with that tempo, play with that intensity, and how much that matters. Everyone mentions offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it more than anyone.
Well, I feel like rebounding was my bread and butter, and it was one of my favorite things to do, because you get the opportunity to keep playing offense. Who doesn't like to score?
I do.
Exactly. So I think that's what is a big key, and I mean, Sower beat it into me. It just rebounds, and it's a difference. It's a game changer.
Well, 3 Broncos finish in double figures, led by Natalie Pasco's 19. Tatum Thompson follows up her 21-point performance with 14 and 3 rebounds. Abby Muse with 10 and 7. I mean, just up and down the lineup. And the one that you're not going to see show up all that much is Mary Kay Nero, 8 assists. That's big time.
That is big time. That's being the leader of the team and distributing the ball when needed, and just being the glue.
And she had 7 points and 3 rebounds as well. Well, the Boise State Broncos will be back in action here in ExtraMile Arena on Saturday. They'll see Wyoming, who they took a tough loss to last time. But once again, this is the tough stretch where you're going to have to bear down a little bit here in the Mountain West Conference. 73-42, the win for the Broncos, and a good momentum builder for them. Well, from Shay Shaw and everyone else in the truck on the production team, I'm Taylor Lundquist. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next time.